could you resend the link? Because for some reason it's not coming up for me.
No problem.
Otherwise, I would have clicked onto it straight. Here we go. For some reason, it doesn't want to show on my Discord.
Well, okay then. Anyway, good afternoon, folks. We're doing a SmudTalk soon, and hopefully we'll have enough time to get into a normal SmudCast. But I wanted to cover this with a few people who were interested in talking about it. I was trying to get UDP on board, but he's having more internet problems, so I don't know if he can make it. But till then, we've got another fan of BioWare games to bash BioWare people over the head, figuratively. So, hey, let's get going. So anyway, this is a 15-minute video interview with Gamespot, I believe, and with Mac Walters and his machinations and various ideas for the creation of Mass Effect 2's characters and other things involved, which I thought was interesting because I love seeing behind-the-scenes stuff and the creative process. And you can see just how simple it is, how when they come up with an idea for a character, it's just, we need a character that does this. Like, oh, great. And then that's like the premise, and then everything else is being fleshed out and figured out. So you can see how inspired the other writers become. So it seems like Mac was the guy in charge of like coming out with ideas for characters, and other writers sort of went with that. They sort of ran with it and see what you got, which is cool because it's interesting. I love these processes. Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, when the writers are working together instead of just him and Casey on their own in a locked room.
That's true. You get the writers in a room, they're good. When they get the writers and Casey or him and Casey together, then not so good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get started. It's 15 minutes. We should be okay. Maybe an hour or so.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, I'm Mac Walters, and I was the lead writer on Mass Effect 2. Today, we're going to be talking a lot about the development of our Dirty Dozen characters that were so integral to Mass Effect 2, but obviously to that huge suicide mission that we did at the end, and some of the things that we did to make you care about those characters and really weave their story and their narrative into that epic outcome of the second game of Mass Effect Trilogy. This Legacy Party Members doc is a living document that we would have used, I'm going to say, probably from about 3 months into development up until anywhere from 6 to 9 months going in. And we realized, one of our biggest challenges was going to be coming up with who are these 12 iconic characters who you care about enough to bring into your party and go on a suicide mission with. I think one interesting thought that we had.
Okay, so the idea is that everything's on the drawing board. You're not even, you don't know what the plan is yet. You're just brainstorming. And who knows how this list was made? It could have been collaborative. So the order is kind of random. But they already knew that they were going to need a Cerberus female, a Cerberus male, and a bunch of other interesting characters throughout the list. But you get Garrus down the list. Or some Turian renegade guy. It's it's Garrus. It's Garrus. What do you mean? Why would you plan that? You just put Garrus in the game. We figured that out the first day.
Yeah, it's like Tyler. Yeah, we know.
you better damn well have Tyler in the game.
Yep. No, but I do like the fact they were talking about characters that you care about. And it said that over Jacob, and I'm like, oh, yes, Jacob.
He was character number 3 or number 2. I can't remember which one, but it was you got to make him interesting enough to care about. I was like, can you actually do that next time, please? It's how do you make character good?
Yeah, it's
be like character.
Interesting. Yeah. Don't just make him say the prize, because that's all he's known for. That's it. There's nothing else. Well done, Jacob's story.
Yeah, it's we need to have some sympathy for Jacob. Can you do that? No, let's have a disgusting father he absolutely hates. You're why would you do? Why don't you have him? Look at Miranda. She has all these father issues. She has all these family issues. She wants to have a family. She can't. She can't have kids. She finds a sister. And there's that one moment where she's like, I'm not going to go to her. He's like, what do you mean, Miranda? She's right there. I don't want to get. I don't want to get in her way. It's are you an idiot, or am I going to drag your ass over there? Which one is it?
Yeah, it's just for the love of God, just go. She knows by now.
Yeah.
Your
So,
sister knows that things aren't okay.
yeah. So anyway,
But,
UDP, how are you there, buddy? How's it going?
I am indeed. Hello there.
Oh,
Hey,
hello.
Glad to hear it.
BT's been so.
All right. So hopefully your Wi-Fi is working and we can talk and communicate in an orderly fashion. That'd be great.
Smoke signals.
Okay, hopefully. So we're going through the list. I don't know if you saw the first part of the video, but if you on the share, you can see that he's going through the concept list of all the characters. So he hasn't talked about it yet. So we're just getting started.
Early on, we couldn't just make 12 new characters that were disposable. Part of the trilogy was this idea of your consequences going from game to game. So we knew it was going to this.
Oh, dear.
Play out.
Cool.
Oh, Mac. Oh,
That's
Macky,
something to
Macky,
unpack.
Mac. Your consequences
events-
matter. Oh, do they? Do they now, Mac? Oh, all right. Thank you for telling me that. Because I couldn't see that in the fucking games.
Yeah. What? Yeah, it's like what happened in Mass Effect 1 that affects Mass Effect 2? Bugger all. In fact, it gets retconned.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I love the
The
scenario. Is it not Vermeer? Freedom's Progress, where you find the Vermeer survivor. It's like, oh, you're like a god. You've come back from the dead. It's like, yeah, now I'm saving your ass again, Ashley. Like, how dare you be with Cerberus? It's like, do you want me to not be with Cerberus and then save you? Like, what do you want here? Do you care at all?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I just still like the fact that you're in the Terminus systems, which means that the Council and the Alliance have no jurisdiction whatsoever, which means whoever goes in there is like, it's like colonists entering into flipping ISIS territory. You're just asking for trouble at that point. It's like, why are we bothering with these people? Why are we caring about this shit? You're dumbasses for going into this territory that's hostile to humans.
Yeah. Yeah, but we don't want to be under the Alliance. Okay, fine. So it's either, oh no, taxes, or being raped by Batarian slavers. I don't know.
Yeah. It's like, I like the way how it also forgets the events of Mass Effect 1, where like Eden Prime, which was like one of the most successful colonies, gets attacked, and everyone kind of goes, oh yeah, we forget about that. It's okay.
Yeah. The whole setup of how things are done in the Mass Effect universe, of how colonies are like defended with stuff, and it's just, why would you ever leave Earth? Unless you get to the Citadel, everywhere else is just a death trap.
Yeah, it's like people won't expect. It's like I'm not sure I was saying this in the previous one, whereby it's like the reason the Alliance are actually like, not the Alliance, sorry, the Council are using humanity because we're expansionists, but at the same time they don't want to give us support, which is the reason why you don't want to support the Council, because they're just using humanity.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's a good reason why. But and then it's just like, yeah, humanity's leading the way, and we're going to lead everything in all technologies because we're awesome. Human first.
Oh, that reminds me.
What I love about it is it's quite clear that the Council's using humanity as like its attack dogs to like take over, expand on their behalf, and like whatever human casualties, it's like, oh, it's fine if 100 humans die, it's fine. At least it's not an Asari or a Taurian colony.
There are like the
like,
hundreds of
thanks.
thousands of disappearances of humans. You're like, yeah, it's no big deal. It's not our fault. Who cares? But the Alliance on Horizon has like, oh, here's a giant piece of artillery. We don't know how to operate it though, but we're going to give it to you. You're like, thanks. What does it do? We can't. It doesn't work. Like, why'd you do that? So little crazy ideas that didn't work out so well.
I like the way of how like the plans was it Freedom's Progress, but not Freedom's Progress, was it Horizon? Sorry.
Yeah.
Where it's like the defense guns are all like, yeah, we don't know how to get them lined up. It's like, you're telling me that you set these guns up and you don't know how to align them. Are you shitting me? Like, this is Billy Basic military grade 101 shit. You don't have to be no. Point gun, shoot at big ship.
And this is the funniest part. It's a laser. It goes in a straight line perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah. This is how simple is it? They have Ashley in what she's the Vermeer survivor. They have Ashley doing this. She's not a tech expert. she's just a grunt, a basic low-level soldier. She's not a tech expert. Why? But she's there calibrating all these supposed planetary defense cannons.
Where's the rest of the Alliance team? Like setting up all these guns and stuff. It's like there should be a company of soldiers deployed out there in enemy territory, which means that we're engaged, means we're colonizing hostile worlds, which we've just engaged in warfare.
Also, supposedly, the things with the Geth was still going on. So, shouldn't that supposedly isn't it supposedly they have a token garrison force on all planets?
The Alliance-controlled space does have a marine division, yeah.
But I guess
in the terms
Horizon doesn't count as that. But
so I think we can agree that even with the existing characters, they didn't quite set them up in Mass Effect 2 very well by bringing them over. Same with Liara. That was embarrassing. What they did with Liara, that was just, oh god.
Yeah, I just
like you gave her a desk job. Now she's like an information broker, and she's angry. And you're like, why are you so angry? Like, what's wrong with you? And you find out she brought you back to life.
Well, the worst.
Really? Okay, well, I'm here.
Yeah, she does all this stuff, and supposedly she's just going to sit behind a desk until you get DLC. And I'm like, why do this? Because she's like, the minute you gave her something to do, she completely like threw away being an information broker. She went straight back to being, she went into being like an action person.
Yeah, it's like, I'm a Prothean scientist. Okay.
Yeah, no, carry on.
It's like you got the leading expert on Prothean, the previous Prothean Empire, and yet you find a Prothean world with all this Prothean technology, with a Prothean active working VI, and she goes, "Yeah, I'm going to head to Isle of Fessia." It's like, no, she'd be on there studying the shit out of Ilos, wouldn't she? Uncovering all its secrets and malarkey.
Yeah. Oh no, but the mass relays in the terminus system. Yeah. So
who cares?
It's like, yeah, we know we're flying around the terminus system right now.
No, guys.
It's the Omega 4 relay.
The Ilos entire colony of the Prothean researchers was completely defunct because it ran out of juice. You can't power it back up. They don't have alternating current or direct current in the past. It doesn't work.
Have you tried to turn it off and on again?
Have you tried a Duracell? But no, you can't. No, it doesn't.
No. It's just there is no way that we can ever switch it on. But we've been turned on Prothean relics all over the place. It's easily done. No. This one's just too old. You can't do it. No, seriously, we've just turned on this 50,000-year-old toaster. It's fine. We can do it.
It's like you've got a secret Prothean base, they actually unlocked the secrets of mass relay technology, and nobody's there researching this. It's like, oh my, this is like Stargate, and the people figuring out, how the Stargate built, so can we build our own? And we kind of go, nah, fuck it, we don't need that.
Also, they now also know that the monument on the Presidium, the mass relay monument, is actually a miniature mass relay. Why aren't they doing research on that?
They should be taking it down and
still there, because in the Citadel DLC, Grunt's dancing on it, isn't he?
Oh.
In his bit and Bod.
That's
it. That's the last you see of it. Or is that the Krogan monument? Oh, it's near.
It's the Krogan.
See it.
But either way, though, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah. No one mentions it. Well, just see how that was built, and you can make miniature mass relays. Hey, problem solved with stuff.
Yeah. So in fact, you could probably turn it into weapons, if you think about it. If you can rematerialize an object inside of something, that'd be pretty handy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh,
God.
I'm finding more problems with Mass Effect. Oh my dear lord.
Yeah. But the way I describe the Mass Effect is kind of like a hot nerdy girl, and then she becomes like an anorexic, and then takes a load of drugs and ends up in a ditch. That's basically the Mass Effect series for me. Do
you know something? Yeah, it is. It's exactly like that, yeah.
She starts off having a great time, and then I know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's get to the list, because this is kind of a cool list of all the ideas that were amalgamated or tossed out, and some of them are crazy, which is cool because obviously you wouldn't use them, but I'm glad they had a brainstorming session with this. It was kind of cool to see the documents.
Yeah. Let's keep
feel consequential. You can see lots of different ideas for various characters in here, and honestly, early on, we very much kind of went with that there are no bad ideas idea for coming up with pitches for the different characters. At this point, we wouldn't really necessarily even be thinking about how they would interact with each other, or even maybe how they'd interact with the player. We really just were trying to throw things at the wall and see what would stick. And there's a lot of really fun characters in here that eventually didn't make it for one reason or another, although I'm sure now that they're going to be able to
Crazy Quarian King.
For some of them, like
Dear Lord,
the Crazy
no.
Quarian King. I honestly can't remember whose idea that was, so reading it feels like it was probably Drew's. But
blame Drew. Yeah.
Yeah.
The space jacket. Why does that sound like a good porno?
Basically, the idea comes from the crazy Irishman in Braveheart. That's great.
Mm-hmm.
My island. Yeah, Ireland. Okay, we got it.
Yeah.
Hi, Matt. I'm crazy. I eat potatoes. Hey, potatoes.
I just... the Crazy Quarian King. Dear Lord. They should have had that character in. Would not have been out of place.
Well, we had Vitor, which was he's a scared crazy guy, but that was like 2 scenes where you meet him at Freedom's Progress and then on the loyalty mission with Tali, I think.
Tali, yeah. Unless you hand him over to Cerberus, but whoever does that.
Yeah, I know, but the idea that there's a form of monarchy or he thinks he's a king, that might be interesting because we never really got that sense of who's in charge. It was a community where everyone's kind of flat. There's a whole series of ships you're a part of, and then everyone comes together like a family. Mm-hmm. So to have a crazy king, like he's like maybe back in the day there was some lineage of a family of, I don't know, some aristocracy or something. That would be cool. Like, hey, wow. Yeah. I mean, the Quarians were undoubtedly the better fleshed out of the races, at least through Tali. But that's what was great about getting Tali, that you learned about the Quarian people. So to just add to that would be great because all the if you look at the Tali loyalty mission, you met all these other main characters, and you had Daro Zen. She's a tech guru, and she's really hardcore anti-Geth, but they're all anti-Geth, right? She's just the anti-Geth. Oh, yeah. Everyone else is like, okay, we're nice. We're the nice admiral. We're the warlike admiral, and I'm the not so the family friendly peaceful admiral. So it's like you got your aunts, you got your crazy uncle, your other nice uncle, and your crazy aunt who wants to kill everything. Yeah. That's it. That's it. That's all we get. So
and all their characterizations got destroyed in Mass Effect 3. That was great.
Yeah.
As well.
Fantastic.
The Quarian King could have worked out, let's say, it was a deposed admiral. Like he just got ousted out or something like that.
That'd be cool.
That would work.
Yeah.
I think the Quarians were a great aspect of the story. They could have used them a lot more, though. So.
The best thing about the Quarians is you learn so much in Mass Effect 1 just through Tali, because she's the only Quarian you actually meet. There's no other Quarians in Mass Effect 1. But we learned more about them than we did about a lot of the other races.
There was it Tara Vanell? I can't remember what her name was on Mass Effect 2, where she has that little debate with the Volus about who stole his credit shit. And it's like, you want to help her. You want to help these people. They're right there. They're having a hard time. They're having a hard life. You want to help the Quarian people. They are awesome engineers. And it would make perfect sense to get like Tali on board. And I talked about this before in Mass Effect 2 when I was redoing it in my videos. If you're going to get a guy, and it's actually in this video too, which is hilarious, you need specialists in general. So a tech expert, perfect. Demolitions expert, perfect. Weapons expert, in general. Not to say you need them because the plot demands it, but if you don't have a goal or an unknown thing you're striving for, like stop the bad guys, get the number one expert for X, and then the second one, and the third one. So
yeah.
Anyway,
someone like the Crazy Irishman from Braveheart, kind of just a fun, wild, bombastic character.
You're a madman.
Another interesting one, number 16, the Mad Bomber.
There he is. This is the guy I planned out, a demo expert. So it's like, yeah, you want a guy when hacking doesn't work, or if you need to blow something up, you want a combat engineer, you want a demo expert, you want a guy who can blow open the door so you can keep going. That's what I'm glad they thought of it. They just never bothered to use them. So
yeah. Good character study.
Mel Gibson expert.
Mel Gibson, the Mel Gibson character. Yeah.
There's a lot of things leading to connect to Mel Gibson movies because we've had Braveheart and now Lethal Weapon.
Oh.
Oh no!
And you can kind of see elements of that morph into a bit of the convict, but I also think, in some degree, elements of that also blended into Zaid eventually, just this sort of crazy, bombastic person. Obviously, drastically different characters in the end.
No, he's not crazy. No,
he's methodical. Yeah, he does have a bit of a rage issue, but he's a professional.
Who wouldn't after being shot in the face?
To have a rain on your day, wouldn't it?
He's kind of been.
He's a bit angry. Someone shot me in the face and tried to kill me.
Yeah,
cheer up, man.
He's basically an older version of Shepard, just renegade.
Yeah. 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 Pretty much. Yeah.
Jack and Zaid, but you can see the inception point of some of those in here. Oh, and of course we had a techno hippie at one point anyway. So
let's I don't know about this guy. The classic stoner.
I already see one problem because male Solarian 45. Solarians don't live to 45.
Well, okay. Remember, this is the guy. Mac Walters is the guy who wrote a comic book where there was a giant Solarian bodyguard, like 3 times the size of a normal Solarian, and you just sit there going, Mac, what are you doing? Stop it. So.
Oh dear. That already sounds terrible.
Well, yeah. When you read the comic, it has Liara, who's a superhero all of a sudden, and she's just crushing people with her mind, trying to save Shepard's body. So this is probably Mac's idea. So
that was a thing. Further down in the document, you can start to see, I guess I would call these sort of our early top picks, but even these, weren't final by any stretch. We have, the Solarian Assassin sounds really cool, and with the sort of the inspiration from Inigo Montoya, and I think that's an interesting point there, even is that it might seem obvious, but we take inspiration from everywhere. I always loved The Princess Bride. I love that character.
My name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die.
Another interesting shift and change is in the Quarian infiltrator that we see there. And it honestly wasn't until I went back and read this that I even remembered any of the sort of early inception of it. But it was a reference to Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid that kind of caught my eye. And I realized that a lot of what we see in this sort of character details and their sort of plot line ended up morphing into Garrus, and specifically into the Archangel. But honestly, early on, that's what we're looking at, is just getting those ideas up.
Okay.
Yeah, I
like the way Garrus is an established character. Intelligence established character. You don't change that shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that was more related to Cal Rieger or some of the other Quarians, that you could say, okay, yeah, this guy was doing certain missions in certain ways, and you would see that in acquisition missions for Tali or whatever. So, but if you're trying to create the Dirty Dozen scenario, it's like, how many infiltrators? Like, you have to plan out your classes. You have to plan out the same way Mass Effect 1 was planned out. Every class had a specific character. So, like, this should have been figured out before you start going, oh yeah, we can't do that. It's like, no. Plan out the gameplay first, then assign roles, then assign characters into the roles. And that's how you do it.
That's what they did with Dragon Age, where you had, like, what was it? 2 wizards or 2 mages, 2 rogues, and 3 3 warriors, and you had 2 additionals, like, what was it now? Shale and the dog.
Yeah, same with Inquisition. You had 3 of each. You had the 3 classes of each: warrior, rogue, and wizard. So, yeah.
And in Dragon Age 2, you had 2 of each. So,
Actually, praising Dragon Age 2, this is an unusual circumstance.
oh,
Yeah.
Don't worry. We don't do that often. And I'm a huge fan of that game.
What's going to be interesting. And as we go a little bit further in and further along, you'll start to notice as well that it's often not one idea that survives. And I think that's something that's really true about a lot of game design, a lot of storytelling, is that this concept of, oh, it's one big idea and that's what makes a great game. It's like, no, it's thousands of ideas. And a lot of times they do start to all blend and weave together as you go throughout. And it was really interesting for me, actually, of course, being separated from this now by almost 10 years, going back, and I had forgotten how much these characters had morphed and evolved over time and kind of blended into each other. You know, you can see hints of characters who would later become much more defined. So a good example would be 14, the Crusader. At this point, you know, this is a male, and they're just called New Alien. We knew we wanted a new alien race involved in Mass Effect 2. We didn't know what they would look like. We didn't know how they would behave. And I remember having probably half a dozen meetings just on who are the Drell? What are they called? They weren't called the Drell at the time. And so it is an evolution as we go through, and each of these things tend to feed back into each other. Another good example here, you know, if you go to 19, you see we included Garrus. We also had Tali in this early version of the document. And I think, you know,
I'm just hilarious that it's number 19. Like, you just, again, Garrus would be number 1, maybe number 0. It's like, yeah.
Also, Garrus the Bounty Hunter, male Solarian. Okay.
I think they may have thought of that, you know. Considering that did Mac write Garrus? I think he did, didn't he?
Originally, I think he was. Yeah, he was because that's all he was doing in Mass Effect 1 was just a few character
Rex as well. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 2 Garruses. That would actually been hilarious. You know, who do you want to
there
pick?
was 2 Garruses.
It would be a Garrus on, you know.
I'll take Garrus. Which one? The good one. Sorry. Oh.
We knew we wanted some of those key characters from Mass Effect 1 to be coming back to be part of the Dirty Dozen.
Okay, so she's number 6, single digit. That's fine, I guess. So they're figuring it out as they go.
Yeah.
Again, if Garrus is number 1, Tali's number 2. It doesn't matter which order, but they're definitely the top 2.
Yeah, but they should have been the people that they wanted back in.
I think they were trying to distance Liara and this Vermeer survivor so there could be some romance conflict. I guess that was the point for not having them part of the missions. Mm-hmm. So it makes, you know, some sense. I'm like, all right, fine. So keep Liara out of the party. So just how you dealt with
Liara
her is just bizarre.
far away.
Oh. We'll create an entire planet focused on the Asari, where Liara feels at home. Except she's not Liara you remember. What? Okay.
Yeah. Liara from Mass Effect 1 is a completely different character to everything else. And it's just so weird.
Yeah, I just like how they fill this out. It's like first they name them, they say how are they how they come about, and then why is this character cool, amusing, or interesting? It's a generic thing. Like, what do you like about the character? It's Tali. She's from the previous story. You know, what do you what do you think? Like, we know why. Just tell us what makes her more, and give us a reason more.
True.
Yeah.
Weren't sure how we were going to do that. If this truly was a suicide mission, what did that mean for, you know, the beloved characters of Mass Effect 1? You can see really clear starting points for what would become Miranda. There's usually a kernel or some sort of thing, a spark for a character. Okay. And you can almost always trace that back right to the origin here, right? And that concept of not just Miranda's plot points and the fact that she worked for Cerberus and things like that, but the sort of this idea that she was genetically engineered,
Message coming in.
that made her perfect, but that was also going to be her flaw. And that's kind of that spark in Miranda, that thing that's really interesting. And that remained all the way throughout. And to me, you know, that is us telling stories about characters at our best, is when we find what those things are, and we make sure they stay true throughout. Another fun example to me is the design of Krogan 3B. When I worked on Garrus on Mass Effect 1, one of the things I really enjoyed about his character was his malleability. The fact that this was a character who was...
Here's a great super chat just talking about that. Tribaceous T, thank you. Still mad Garrus Paragon Mass Effect 1 route was pointless. Yes, exactly. It's like,
oh, yeah!
Thanks, Mac. He's so malleable. And then we do nothing with it. It's like, that's great. Great design. It's fantastic. I'm glad you fleshed that out, Mac. What a great inspiration. And look what happens again. Build your own Krogan. Nope. Not going to happen. Sorry. That's just, it makes no difference.
Yeah, oh god, I remember now, yeah, because Dr. Hart letting him live on that. The Mass Effect 2, it's like, yeah, I just kill everyone there. What are you on about here? Are you okay, Garrus? Yeah, but he's got a scar now, so he's cool. Yeah.
It's just silly that they have all these ideas. No, we can't do anything to that. It's like when you get the Geth, I understand you can't reprogram the Geth. They're their own thing. But one of these designs was having your own Krogan, having your own robot that you could program. And then they play around with the concept of Samara. They teased her. It was like, oh, she could, whatever I want, she'll do within reason. It's like, oh, that's pretty cool. But nothing ever happens. They're just static.
Oh, yeah. Anything you ask me, I will do. It's like, could you do this? No, I'm not doing anything. No. Like, oh, great, cheers, thanks.
Waiting in some regards to be shaped by.
Yeah, it would be nice if we had those changes we saw in Dragon Age Origins where you could harden or make them softer.
Yep.
That sort of element. We never really got that, to my knowledge, in Mass Effect. It was always just,
no.
Here's your loyalty, done.
A strong. I like that idea, and I think the design of Krogan sort of kind of grew out of that concept in a way that, what if you took that all the way to the start, like actually, from birth almost, and you could really shape that character. So the concept of the Dirty Dozen and of the suicide mission was something that I think we kind of hit on fairly early in a world where consequence and choice are so integral. What's more consequential than taking all those characters you love and putting them in a suicide mission, right? And you can even see in this document, we start to refer to things in sort of bold when we don't know what they are. At this point, we just knew that one day you'd be assailing this planet, this fortress, whatever it is, and a bunch of people.
Planet Fortress.
One of the interesting things that we always joke about, on a Friday,
on a 40K. It's like
Planet Fortress.
There's a terror from one of the 40Ks, like fleets protecting it and shit, like gun batteries.
I just, oh dear.
You know what it reminds me of?
Castle Evil.
I think it kind of reminds me of what was that Farscape episode where they're actually trying to like steal all the money, and it's like this big elaborate plan. And obviously it's wrong because it's Farscape for them. It's like that, but shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to remember. I can't remember that one. But no, the Planet Fortress. It just went to a space station, and it just like.
Sure.
No offense, you could have just shot a couple of missiles into that fucking base. Didn't need to do a suicide mission.
Phoenix cannon gun run it,
Yeah. You really could.
Actually, that was. Oh, sorry. That was a plot hole that I noticed, is that you can actually upgrade the Normandy with the Phoenix cannon pretty early on in the game if you've got the resources. And when you do the initial attack, the bit where they lay the trap, it's like, why didn't we just fire the gun then and just rid ourselves of this big rules issue. It's like, no, we can't do that. Game doesn't recognize that this happens.
Yeah, just turn around and it doesn't take many. It only takes, what is it? 2 shots, is it? To destroy the one ship. The one ship. They have one ship.
Yeah, we have no idea how many ships there are. It's like it's exactly the same scanning we've gotten from every time we see it. It's only one.
And then they send that one ship out and it gets blown up and they don't send any more. So it's like, so do you just have one ship then? Or is there more? Because you plan on attacking Earth. Good luck with that.
Yeah, I like the way the collectors are supposed to be really stealthy and elusive, and yet they got something the size of the red frickin' dwarf, just plummeting through the galaxy. He's like, yeah, that's really subtle.
Yeah. Yes.
No one has ever seen it. We don't know what it looks like. It's a mountain. It's a flying mountain.
Yeah. Anybody could. They're not a threat. The collectors are not a threat. I'm going to be brutally honest here. They are not a threat to anybody.
Yeah, they were sniping at all the human colonies that had no defenses or no working defenses.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, "What happened to the colonies? We have no idea." It's like, why don't you set up some probes or some satellites?
Yeah. It literally takes 3 people to defend a colony against a collector. 3 people. Then they pretty much stopped going to colonies anymore.
Yeah, they didn't even need to use the laser turret on Horizon. They could have just used the Normandy. Just tack the thing on the planet. That's right there. It's a stationary target. Just blow it away.
Yeah. Oh, but normally SR2 can't go into atmosphere. Well, unlike all the other times it goes into atmosphere.
Except all the other times it goes, yeah.
Put a tracking probe on it or something. Anything.
Just do something.
Yeah. Plus, it's laser.
You got a cane strapped to your back.
Yeah. No. That's true. Plus, the laser they have is somehow associated with the exhaust port or whatever thruster of the collector ship, so it's pointing down straight at the ground. So it has to turn around 180 degrees to fire at anything in orbit.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, it's just sitting duck. It's not going to attack you. It can't attack you.
Yeah.
How is it actually remaining? Because it's above the ground, so it's floating. So that means it's got thrusters active, but yet we don't see any evidence of thrusters actually keeping it afloat.
Whatever kind of Mass Effect powers, it's got massive element 0 core. Who knows? Just sitting there.
Yeah. It's probably the same way that the Reapers do. You don't see thrusters when Sovereign leaves Eden Prime.
Yeah.
Sovereign's a badass. Isn't he? He don't need he's a strong independent. He don't need no gravity.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's
controlled by a small glowy kid, so he's not much of a badass.
Yeah, true.
A suicide with 10 or 12 of your favorite characters is creating just the most brutal future world for ourselves on Mass Effect 3. Because now you've got all of these permutations that we're going to have to deal with, and we would all just laugh and say, "Oh, that's for our future selves to worry about." And we did figure it out eventually.
And you didn't.
It was we knew it was coming. We knew the pain was coming. It's interesting at the bottom of the stock.
You just discarded all of them. You literally threw all of them away.
The whole suicide mission thing. It's like there's a difference. It's like the Vermine Survivor thing was more impactful because it's like you had to send someone out to die. You had to leave someone behind. It's like, why wasn't any of that mission like to think? Where you see the fire team, it's like you have to leave those people. Those people that have been assigned there, you have to leave them behind. They're going to die. End of.
Yeah.
But instead, it's like, no, everyone can win. Everyone's happy. In fact, you have to be out of your mind to get the worst ending in Mass Effect 2. You have to try.
Oh yeah, I've only managed to do it once, and it was you've got to just skip loads of stuff. You've got to.
So this is interesting.
You have to go out of your way.
If you look at this is the concept for Miranda. It's like she's cool, haughty, and aristocratic. She seduces people with her personality and sensuality, making playthings of them, and moves on when bored. She's taken many lovers, but ultimately loves only herself. It's just like she's this crazy aristocratic, I'm better than you. But she's not like that at all throughout the game.
Maybe after the first, that's it.
After that, she's like, oh, my dad is evil. Oh, my sister, I miss her. Oh, my God, I don't have a family. Wah, wah, wah. It's like, oh, jeez.
I do like the thing, though. It's like, my dad was this wanted legacy and those kind of things. So I joined Cerberus. So who's your dad? He's a major contributor to Cerberus. It's like, okay.
Do you want to go back and start from the beginning again? You're hiding from your dad in a company that your dad has pays a lot of money into.
Yeah. It's like, really?
And you're the intelligence officer. Okay. Well, we're screwed.
Oh God. They completely ruined. Not I would say ruined, but they just watered down the concept for Miranda and Jacob. Her role on the ship was useless. She was just there. Jacob was just there. He didn't make any guns. He didn't manufacture anything.
Everybody was just there.
Yeah.
Everyone was just stood in their section of the game, and you're like, what are you doing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
It's like Third Rock from the Sun, isn't it? And there was a spare seat.
Yeah.
We had 12 spare seats.
Yeah.
You could argue that.
But if you don't take like certain characters on missions, apart from obviously their loyalty, they do nothing. These characters literally just sit on the Normandy and do absolutely nothing.
You could argue that Morden was researching stuff because he said he was, and he's figuring out all these stuff, but you never see the fruit of his labor. It's always just him running tests and doing crazy shit. It was like, what are you actually doing? You're the scientist here. You're not really.
The only thing we ever see is that the anti-seeker swarm stuff,
which is useless. That is useless because the moment that the moment they collect base, they kind of go, yeah, we can just deflect the swarms with biotic bubbles. And it's like, oh, so we've always had the capacity to deflect these things. Then what's the point of fucking Morden? Then thank you, BioWare. Thank you for that.
Yeah. The one person who had a point of being in this game.
And just like
gone.
It's like shields and biotics don't work that way. You can move through them. That's how shields work. Like, do you read your own law? You know?
Oh, do they read their own law? that book got thrown out the window. Straight away.
Message coming in.
Shepard when he hit the planet.
Patching it through.
Yeah.
Shepard's going
to
survive.
Where we're going, we don't need law.
I can burn up in the atmosphere, or my head could be magically preserved by coming clear off my skull, just off my neck. It's like, yep.
I still have no idea how the hell that even works.
It's like the helmet got detached, but the head was exposed. What?
Yeah. The head cannot be in the helmet and also not in the helmet at the exact same time, Mac. Which one is it?
Well, I love how the recordings in the Minuteman Station on Mass Effect 3 when you go assault the base for Cerberus, and you hear those recordings, and the scientist is like, he's clinically brain dead, sir. We can't do anything. And then Miranda's like, or he's like, Miranda said it's only a matter of resources. You're like, wait, no.
No, there's no resources. No, he's dead.
Is this like Age of Empires? It's like Age of Empires. You just need to wait until you got like 1,000 food, 400 gold, and then you just hit the research button.
Yeah, it's like, death. It's just a matter of resources. No, sir, it's death.
Yeah.
It's like that skit from Monty Python. This is a dead parrot. There's nothing here.
This is a dead spectre pining for the fjords.
Oh my god! You know that scene in DS9 when the Ferengi kill the Vorta and they have to like put stimulants in his muscles to make him move. It's like, this is Shepard, and they're just like twitching it.
All it is just like strings, and Miranda's like pulling Shepard along. Look, see, he's alive.
She's siphoning money from the project for her own stuff.
Yeah.
See, Shepard's okay, isn't he? Right, Shepard, I pull the strings, give him wave.
Weekend at Bernie's style.
Oh, you
Weekend
see,
at Lazarus.
we all thought, and this is, I think, what's his name? Chris. I can't remember the writer dude. He was
Chris
under
Presley.
Sorry,
Chris Priestley, or was that another guy?
not Priestley. No. It was the guy who actually wrote Legion.
Oh, that guy. I know what you mean now.
Yeah,
I forgot.
he was talking about what if Shepard was resurrected by Geth because he was fighting them and whatever, and they used him because they saw him as a surrogate to Saren or something like that. Like that would have been that makes sense. Alien technology doing something crazy with organics. They're just purely machines. They have no idea what they're doing, and then boom, brought them back to life. That would have been interesting. That would be like a Locutus of Borg sort of scenario, but giving him some autonomy. So that would have been cool. That would have been like, oh my god, he's purely a cyborg. That is nuts. But no. It's just Miranda. Resources, guys. You just need more metagel. You keep pumping metagel into his chest or something.
And it's just, I just love the fact that they knew it was such a stupid idea that they just go, oh no, there's no. It's up to people's imaginations. Yeah, okay. You know that there's no way you can get out of this. Just imagine it was what you wanted.
Yeah, it's just he just survived an impact from like Mach 10 hitting the ground. It's people kind of go, oh, but shields. It's like I don't think shields don't work that way. They only react to incoming fire.
Yes. Shepard is just a giant pizza flat on the floor somewhere. You're not scraping anything from that.
Just like they had to use the Mass Effect Roomba to like scoop him up.
He could have landed on the planet of pillows, right? But he's still just a smear.
All right, here's Alex Halo. Thank you. Brutal Future World. Fate series has people living a dead planet with things from the other planets waiting to kill them. Book called Notes. I don't know what you're talking about, but okay. Fate series is weird.
Is that because of the planet Fortress?
Yeah. Well, in the Fate series in the future, all of humanity is almost gone except for like this small cloister of techno whatever, and everything else is like snow and ice and whatever ice age has hit humanity. So yeah, fun times.
To like Scotland then. Pretty much.
Oh dear. Anyway, let's keep going.
Planet to the gingers.
Yeah.
Some of the top picks, you can see that we're starting to flesh out the relationship, specifically how each character's relationship with Shepard could go. It's interesting because you can start to see things in here where we're starting to talk about loyalty and how that could potentially impact the characters and their arc.
Is there ever a time where the characters in Mass Effect 2 leave?
No, it's impossible.
No. There's no way to make them leave.
Yeah,
I tried. Jacob, go away. We don't want you. Sod off.
Yeah.
Good example is under the Young Thief. It's like if the loyalty doesn't stay up, then they'll leave. I don't think at this point we had fully figured out how loyalty would impact the end game, but we knew that it was going to be an important factor. It wasn't just a matter.
That'd be really funny. Like Christina Norman is the gameplay director, and she's doing all the systems in place. And can you imagine Mac? Hey, Christina, can we actually do this? And she's like, yeah, sure. What's wrong with that? That's easy. Yes or no. Yes or no clause. Do this, they stay. Don't do this, they leave. It's like, yeah. So do you want to do it?
You go down I was gonna say, if you go down a renegade path, Samara would be raising questions like, "Hi, no, I don't agree with this." It's like, oh, right, yeah, she'd leave, and she'd be active against you, hounding you,
Yeah. The funniest thing about this is Mass Effect 2 came out after Dragon Age Origins, where companions can leave.
Yeah, you can kill them.
So it's No, but as in like companions, if you do stuff, you know, that they don't agree with and their approval goes down, they leave.
Yeah. Oh,
also,
yeah,
you can tell people to leave. So I'm like, so yeah, Mac, it can easily be done. You've done it before in a game.
This is funny.
Ask the Dragon Age team.
Because there was a article, I don't know if you guys saw thegamer.com, they released about, I don't know, a dozen posts the past few days about Mass Effect 2. And one of the articles was, Mass Effect 2 is a great example of how crunch is not needed to make a good game or whatever. And if you're looking at BioWare games as a whole, Mass Effect 2 is the most watered down, streamlined one of all of them.
That's why. It's anorexic.
Yeah, all the concepts have just been stripped. Everything's been streamlined. All the guns have been simplified. Everything's a static. You have a mission that doesn't affect another mission. It doesn't affect another. Everything's just except for the suicide mission. That's it. So yeah. If you have a very simple design and all your choices don't matter, yeah, you can make all kinds of Mass Effect 2 games really quickly. That's true.
Mm-hmm. Heck, there's more things connecting missions in Dragon Age 2.
Yes.
Than connecting stuff in Mass Effect 2.
It's hilarious. The whole friendship rivalry system was great. You know, as silly as the game was, but was a great idea.
That's how you do it. Yeah.
That would actually work well in Mass Effect 2. Actually, to be fair, that would work very well. Yeah.
Pissing off Garrus or pissing off Jack, but they still respect you because you're a badass. Like, yeah, perfect. Why not?
But there's very little actual interactions with your crew in Mass Effect 2. Actually, there's very little interactions with anybody in the Mass Effect series, to be really honest.
Even in Dragon Age Origins, you could throw gifts at people, but it was still something you had to do over time. You couldn't just get like 100 golden mirrors and then give them to Morgan all at once. You had to like find them and take your time.
Mm-hmm. And then talk to him and everything. While with Mass Effect, it's just like, I need to do this mission with Garrus, so I'll go talk to Garrus now. Mission done. You talk to him once afterwards to get like what he thought about the mission, and then that's it. You're like, oh, okay, I guess our conversation's over now.
They could have released like level 3 or level whatever you want to call it DLC for the characters. They just say, okay, you've done all the loyalty missions. Now here's some more storylines or dialogue options with the characters. It doesn't do anything. Doesn't advance the plot. Doesn't affect the outcome of the story. It's just stuff on top to just talk to them about. People would buy that instantly. They'd be like, "Oh my god, I can talk to Garrus more." Yes, bye.
Mm-hmm. Because once you do the suicide mission, and you can, obviously you can continue. The world's very dead. It's very empty. And once you speak to them after the suicide mission to get their responses from surviving, that's it. There's very little else to do. When
I saw the DLCs like for Omega, I was like, that doesn't appeal to me. There's really nothing is really adding. When you got Lair the Shadow Broker and you finished it, you had this whole information dump of all your characters. And it was so basic. I thought that was great because it was so simple. But it were all dossiers on all the characters that was almost the premise of Mass Effect 2 because you have dossiers, you have to go find them and get them because the Lucid Man said so. But here's like the Shadow Broker's version of that, where you already have them, and it's just information that you, oh my god, Miranda can't have kids? Holy crap. That's why she's so crazy about like it's just all this information that adds to it.
Oh my god, Rex looks up T-Rex. No, not Rex. Grunt looks up T-Rexes and stuff. I say Rex.
So there's all these cool stuff.
So I was going to say, this is a fundamental problem with Mass Effect 2 is that it's not really Shepard's continuation, because when you look at the original trailer, like that one done by Blur Studios, Elusive Man's basically like, they have no idea what he's getting into, but to his credit, he is recruiting and impressing. In other words, Shepard's the one going out and recruiting. But in the here's a bunch of files, deal with it. It's just like, that's a complete disconnect. Because Shepard's a Spectre. They should be going out there doing this by themselves, finding this information out. None of this whole, you're being told, because you're basically just a grunt at that point. The Spectre status means dick at that. It means nothing.
Well, because when you come back, you're not a Spectre, and everything's exactly the same.
It should have been really just Miranda and Jacob and Shepard going out, doing stuff, and doing things, and figuring stuff out as it goes, not their boss saying, now you got to get this, now you got to get that guy. It's like, why? What do you know?
Yeah.
What the hell do you know what's going on? I'm the one out here.
You should be reacting to the threat. In other words, okay, the collectors have hit this planet or whatever. Now we know this information. Now we need these kind of people on board. Done. There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the idea would be the ruthlessness of Miranda, which we never got to see, and the sort of Boy Scout nature of Jacob being more, because Jacob was pretty much a goody two shoes throughout the story. He was like being nice all the time.
Yeah.
So imagine your angel and devil on your shoulder saying, don't do this, but do that, but don't go over there. And Miranda's like, no, come on, why are we wasting time? Just go through. Like stuff like that would have been great, because if we had that dynamic of these two characters who are part of the organization, but they're obviously not completely, like Miranda never felt like a loyalist to me. That was her selling point. She's the loyalist person who believes in the cause. She doesn't care. She's never loyal. Yeah. She even goes against him at the end. So what about her is loyal? Yeah. What did she do that wanted her to stay on board with the elusive man? I never understood that. And Jacob is just a gun for hire.
The elusive man is protecting her from her father, which we find out is a complete lie. Anyway, because the elusive man and her father are pretty much buddies.
Thanks.
And then Jacob's just a wet fish. There's nothing to him. It just
he should have just been Zaid. Just Zaid all the way. He's a much more competent character.
That would have been
hilarious. He could have been an old boot for all I care. That's how uninteresting Jacob is.
Imagine instead of having Jacob,
a Roomba with a gun, basically.
You encounter the first person you encounter is Zaid on Minuteman Station, and he's like, "Shepard, you're alive. What the hell? Thought this was a joke, waste of time and money, but I guess it's not." He's like, "What the hell is this shit? You're back from the dead? What, this is crazy."
Yeah, but we got nothing. We just got Wilson, and he gets shot. You're like, oh, okay.
That was such a dumb. Why did they even do that with Wilson? I don't even know why.
Wilson was the traitor. First, okay. Traitor for who, what, where?
Yeah.
What are we on about here? What do I care?
Yeah. Who's he double agent to? Himself. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay.
See. So what would be interesting with Miranda? Because Miranda shoots Wilson, and that would have actually been an interesting twist in terms of you bring these characters along, and they could interact and impact the story, the conversation. Like Miranda should basically be like, you know what? We're fucking wasting time. Pulls out a gun, blaps him, and he's like, whoa, what the hell? Yeah.
Yeah. No, but everyone just stands in the back as a placeholder, waiting for Shepard to finish saying his thing, and you're like, yeah, do something. You people can do things, you know.
Yeah. It's why I call them. The problem, actual fact, this is the initial problem with Mass Effect 1 as well, is that, in Mass Effect 1, your characters could do electronics and decryption and things like that, so they actually had a gameplay purpose. But in terms of everything else, they're just basically walking gun turrets that hold one-liner, Joss Whedon quips every now and then. And that's it. That's what they evolved into. It's really sad when you think about it.
Yeah.
Rather have a tab gun turret with a railgun, that's it.
Yeah, there's really nothing to a lot of the characters outside.
That's it, unfortunately.
Why was I ever a fan of this series?
I think it was the world. It's
with
like the universe.
With most science fiction, it's the idea of this realized world, because of Mass Effect 1 was so detailed, and then because you played the first game, there's the Citadel, there's all these alien species. Now we're going to off and do some fun, crazy stuff. So there's Omega, and there's the Quarian fleets, and they're out. It's like, that's cool. I like that. There's all this diversity and weird alien creatures you can interact with, but that's it. It's just very streamlined to tell you within a subplots, a series of subplots, to try and connect. And it never really connects aside from buy an upgrade, bring this person on the mission, and that's that. Which is fine if that's all you care about, is making sure things make sense. It does make sense logically, but when you actually think about, I'm putting a person in a vent, or I could put the alien AI creature who can survive in any environment to hack anything.
Once you start mentioning these things, it's just so the suicide mission is so silly. It is so silly.
You remember how many
we need someone to do something. Legion, just Legion can do everything, but he literally can do everything. Why are we even worrying about it?
I got it. So I've just thought of something, right? You know, at the ending where you get the choice between destroying the base or launching a neutron pulse or something like that. It's like, why can't we do that on the collector ship when it stops? It's just like, why don't we just neutron radiation these bastards? And then we just got a hulk of a ship that we can look at and kind of go, oh yeah, that's how it works.
Because next question.
Yeah, that's a good question. Moving on.
Good question. Anyway, guards, can you just take him outside? Wait, what?
It's like, here's this magical donut. We've never had this magical donut before. We can only use it once. It's like, why didn't we use it before?
I've just seen Mac Waters climb out the window to get away from the question.
I'll be back in the jiffy, climbs out the bathroom window, and you hear an airplane go over.
It's the same concept with the probes, right? The probes are magical. You could just make a drilling apparatus system on a planet. And you just strip mine the entire planet of whatever you're looking for. It's like, okay, interesting. These probes are amazing. Mm-hmm. Why don't I use probes for data gathering, which probes are supposed to be for? So strap a nuke to a probe, and shoot it at the collector. That could work, or you could use, if you want data from the collector base or whatever it was. It's like, we have Legion. Can we borrow one of your processes and strap it onto this probe and just launch it at them and have it hack into anything? Can you do that? You could literally tie a rope to Shepard, slowly winch him out of the Normandy armed with a cane and just shoot at the collector base.
It reminds me of the bit where you go through the Omega 4 relay.
Hello, guys.
No, I'm a Mathias.
Sorry for being too late. What did I miss?
Absolutely nothing.
No, I got it at the end.
Yeah.
So I like the bit where you go through the Omega 4 relay, and Shepard kind of goes, going nice and quiet. It's like, you do know they saw us through the stealth system at the beginning of the game, Shepard. You know, the collectors can see through the stealth system. We can't go silent with these people. Also, they know that the relay's been activated. They know. Why is it glowing orange? I don't know.
Wow.
Yeah, nice and quiet. How do you go in loudly and, as a ship in space? There's no sounds in space. What do you want me to do?
Jeez, yeah.
And you still get seen, and it plays out.
Yeah, they know the delay.
There is no stealthy way to get into it. It's like,
because people try to defend this thing, kind of go, well, the Reapers can't see an ME3. It's like, well, how did the Collectors see you through then? And how come they can see you when you pinged an ME3? It doesn't make any sense. It's like they're just bullshitting you at this point. Shit, they have no idea. Yeah, it's just the Normandy can do everything and nothing. Yeah, like the bit with the extended cut where Harbinger just looks at the Normandy like, fuck's sake, don't even. The Normandy 2 needs shuttles because it can't go into atmosphere. Oh, by the way, let's just park up in London, right? Right in front of a Reaper. Not just any old Reaper. The first Reaper, the biggest and most dangerous Reaper. Just park up right in front of it. Why didn't they if the Normandy can get that close, shoot it with the Phoenix cannon? Oh yeah. Don't question that though.
You're
Phoenix Anderson did say.
You're right. You're right
make
there.
Too much sense.
You're right there. Shoot him. He can't see you, supposedly.
Yeah, it's like
He'd be like,
Muldoon.
what the hell's happening here? What the hell's happening here? Where were you shot from?
You feel like Muldoon from Jurassic Park at the beginning.
Yeah.
Shoot! Shoot!
Shoot. I just, the more I think about it, there's more problems with Mass Effect. Oh my god.
Yeah, when Call of Duty has more continuity, the Mass Effect, you're just like, yeah, now we're in deep shit territory, guys.
Yeah, and the fact is, and Matt keeps going, yeah, we've got to make sure about these, the choices and consequences. I'm like, what? You keep using that word. I don't think you know what that word means.
That's ironic, isn't it? He likes Princess and the Bride.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's got like, oh yeah, it reminds me of Inigo Montoya. Yeah, and he literally.
It's like I get where he's coming from. I actually I love Princess Bride and all these other ideas. It's just like the execution is like, dude, did you even know what you were doing? Like, it seems like you had the right ideas. How did you get from A to B so poorly?
It seems, considering the fact they called Garrus a Solarian, I'm just saying we were not in a strong position.
Wait, what? What?
Yeah.
You call Garrus a Solarian?
They did, unfortunately.
Yeah, they did. Yeah,
dude, what?
They went, yeah, Garrus the Bounty Hunter, Solarian male, 30. Wait, what? Who? What? No.
Garrus.
Everyone knows Garrus is a Turian.
He's a Quarian. No, he's a Krogan. He's a Krogan.
A Quirgorian. Oh, but yeah, it's like they had all these ideas, and they just they didn't have the skill to actually.
Certainly, they didn't have the skill.
Anyway,
it blows my mind.
Let's keep going.
It's constant. Every time they try and get themselves out of the hole, we just dig the hole deeper.
Yeah, we'll dig our way out.
Yeah. Well, yeah. If we keep going down, we'll soon go up at one point.
Anyway, let's keep going.
Find 12 people and go attack the thing. It's like, no, it's actually going to be about interact with those 12 people. They're not going to want to work well together. In fact, some of them might even want to kill each other.
No,
do something about that. You're going to feel I think we also realize that games don't necessarily want to address the fact that the people that you're hanging out with all don't get along, and to me that just makes them feel more alive. Like, of course, some of these
they don't hang out with each other. Apart from that scene, Miranda and Jack don't interact with each other at all.
And Garrus, Tally and Legion, and that's it.
Yeah, and then that's it.
They're there just to be there.
They planned a one between Morden and Grunt, but that was scrapped, of course. So
yeah,
it's like they're static. They sit in their little room, and that's it. There's no interaction.
Yeah.
There's nothing. It's silly.
And then Mass Effect 3 tried to make out they were like the stuff we did together. It's like bullshit. None of this ever happened. There was never an instance where you spoke with each other. We had a poker table and did nothing.
Which reminds me of the various interactions in Dragon Age Origins. Whenever you come across a certain part of the map, your three other companions will just start talking to each other. And there's so many of those. There's so many interactions. It's nuts. And even in Inquisition, they go a step further, depending on if you have a relationship or this or that. They talk about it. So it's like, wow, they actually spent extra time doing all these hundreds of interactions. So it's like
Dragon Age 2. They interact with each other. They have lives outside of what happened.
Yeah.
You sometimes bump into them talking to each other. And interacting.
Yeah, the idea.
Aveline keeps inviting Isabella to come around to her house for dinner in Act 3.
Right. So the idea in Mass Effect 2 was there. You could buy better provisions. You could buy some random crap at the Citadel to help people out. There's that submission or that mission with the engineers to buy whatever coolant whatever crap. Like, those things are good ideas.
The exhaust.
But there was only like 3 of them. It's like, can you give us like 30? Can you give us like 50? Like, we have to do all this stuff to keep everyone together? It's not just, hey, I bought you a bottle of brandy. Isn't that nice? It's like, yes. 1 week, that's nice. How about the next 2 weeks where you just completely forget about Dr. Chocola's? How about the next 2 months?
Yeah.
Nope, nothing. No one. You're happy because I bought you some brandy. Like, what? That's it? Really?
Yeah. And we talk about a dead guy. Yay. That's bonding, that is.
Or to fix your facial scars, you need like 50,000 units of a planet of metal. Like, what? Why? How does that work?
50,000 platinum to repair your scars.
50,000 planet fortresses. But why would you ever get your facial scars fixed? They're one of the cool things.
Yeah, I know. All these things to worry about. I want to look better, like in the mirror. Like, why?
Yeah, it's why your eyes glow red. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Why? Oh,
she even said it would heal naturally. So it's like, well, we have bigger issues than fixing my face right now with 50,000 units of platinum. Then I don't know, not dying, not blowing up in a fireball.
Phoenix cannon or facial scar?
Yeah.
Choices.
Facial scar, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, facial scar is the most dangerous thing in the galaxy. Not the collectors or the reapers. Facial scar is basically the most important thing.
Yeah, the Phoenix cannon costs 15,000 platinum, but your facial scars cost 50,000 platinum.
Wow!
Yeah.
Wow!
It's like over 3 times as much.
What? How? Why?
Do you want to build a big giant death ray cannon, or do you want to fix your face?
What's wrong with your face? Don't know. I've got the platinum. Mass Effect 2. Jeez, why do people
just like Smut Voice View? What is the point of Mass Effect 2?
Yeah.
Well, that's carried over to the EMS system in Mass Effect 3, right? So it's like, Kaylee Sanders is what, 20 points? And I can't remember the exact score, but the Fifth Fleet is like 10? I can't
60.
60? It was like
60. So she's like a third of the fleet.
She's also the same as an Asari commando unit.
Yeah.
I'm like, no. Kaylee Sanders is not the same as an Asari commando unit. There's not a chance in hell.
An Asari commando unit should be more important and more valuable.
If she's 20 and the Asari commando unit shouldn't be 20, I'd take even them being 21 just so it's a higher number. It should not be exactly the same.
And the Legendary Edition is making it easier to get a better ending without multiplayer. Which means more points.
I really wanted to play the Mass Effect 3 multiplayer, but...
Well, they're not including it because nobody wanted to get the remaster because of multiplayer. Everyone wanted to go through that story again.
Why couldn't they do the multiplayer? It's like you're not redesigning the netcode or anything like that. You're just updating the models.
It's because the multiplayer survived a lot of loot boxes.
So they just update it.
I don't think EA have the budget to maintain another server, even though they have a lot of money.
Yeah, there's something about it. Yeah, there's something about it.
Because
to be brutally honest, okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
Oh, sorry, mate. It's that EA did pretty good with the Command & Conquer remaster. In fact, they did excellent with that. So I think this is BioWare's problem, not EA's.
Oh, BioWare just. I'm just laughing about the fact that everything I predicted about this remaster was correct.
Nice.
I said it would be the bare minimum, as in like they'd barely do anything.
Hey,
and
at least
they've
we got
barely done
more.
everything.
At least we got more lens flare. That's what everybody wanted.
More lens flare, less Miranda ass shots. Yay!
To be fair, Mass Effect 2 shots.
More ways to blind your eyes.
Mass Effect 2 was basically a pervert's fucking camera view, wasn't it? You know, so it's like.
Yeah, I'm not going to even deny it. That's one of the reasons why it scrapes up to a 3 out of 10.
Well, that's why I love the Mass Effect 3.
Was that 3 inches?
If you guys remember it the Spectre office, and Miranda calls you, and even then, her holographic ass is like right there. It's like, wow, every chance you get, you got to put her in the shot. It's just like all the time. Like,
I mean, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, yeah. But what I had to laugh about is the fact that Miranda get all these ass shots, and her romance scene is a fade to black.
Yeah.
The Mass Effect 3, I'm like, oh, okay. I guess
They
that's
keep teasing,
too much.
but you will never get it.
Yeah. This game series, oh my god.
all right, let's keep going. We only
There's so
got
many problems.
6 minutes left.
Of course, they'd even want to kill each other or leave if you don't do something about it. And it kind of also spoke to sort of that, leadership that comes with, the burden of being leadership. In this case, we actually get all these people to work together towards a common goal, so we don't all die in the end. And to me, I don't think we
Paragon
knew how powerful that would be. We guessed, and I think it worked out really well in the end. In this second document we're going to look at, we had narrowed in on, what our top characters were going to look like, really start to flesh out some of their stories a little bit more, and try to really figure out not only what their narrative would be, but how is that going to work in the game. And I think what's interesting in this document is you can see that we have now identified that there are loyalty missions and there are acquisition missions. We knew that we wanted to center a lot of the actual missions that you would go on, the actual levels of the game, around these characters. Obviously that was going to be important, and that we would divide them into those 2 steps. First you acquire them, and then you have the optional one to make them loyal. You'll notice that Thane was actually Creo's Than, and it was at some point, who knows when, I would have decided, no, let's actually call him Thane Creo. We're really starting to flesh out, the missions as we're going to acquire these characters, but also a little bit more detail about who they are and what drives them, their motivations. But even at this point, you'll notice, we don't call out things like temporal syndrome for Thane. We knew that Thane was dying. That was part of his motivation, and that was going to be what really sort of drove him, and meant that he would both be willing to join you and help you in this mission, but also kind of made him a really unique free agent, right? A lot of times there would be characters that we might have just written a small,
it does nothing,
sort of side.
There's no reason that I could see within the story to have an assassin. I just can't see it.
Yeah.
You're fighting an unknown alien species. Unless you're like in some sort of XCOM 2 scenario where there's like some alien diplomat or something you have to go assassinate. Mm-hmm. There's no need for this.
Yeah. Thane can silently garrot a collector. That's cool. You've got Grunt there beating the crap out of 60 of them. So what?
Unless the narrative tells us we need to have this super experienced, stealthy assassin dude, fine. But
that was what I was going to say, is that they focus a lot on characters and they actually forgot the plot.
Right, like we had Kasumi, which was listed number 2 or something like that. It's like, okay, but they never implemented it in the main story. It's like, okay, maybe you need someone to hack into stuff, but then it's like, what about Tali? What about all the other stuff we've got? Legion to hack. Like, we have all this other tech stuff. Why do we need all these people? So if they actually watered this, or sorry, not watered down, but cut the fat, focus the story, and say we need this character for X, and that's a plot point in the main plot, like to assassinate an alien collector diplomat. Fine. Boom, we get Thane. He does his job. There's actual stealth gameplay as opposed to whatever the hell Arrival was trying to be, or whatever.
Or in Thane's loyalty mission where you're walking above people.
Yeah, he's a bloody ghost. He's like, I don't know if you're ever seeing the Shadow Broker videos. Thane's a freaking magician. He's like there 1 second and gone the next. Like, what the? How do you do that?
Yeah, he disappears, and he's like, how do you do that? And he's like, no, that's it. That's the only time you ever really see him do it. You're like, wait, what? Okay, sure.
Yeah, so if they cut down at least half the characters, focused on the ones that are necessary to the plot, and have the rest as DLC, or maybe in the third game, I don't care, you would have gotten much more interesting characters, especially with Mass Effect 1. There's only, 6 squad mates to choose from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if they just kept the formula the same, forget the Dirty Dozen bullshit, or we need 12. You don't need 12. Less is more. Focus on just the main ones. You have Garrus, you have Tali, get a Biotic, get a Soldier, whatever. Go that route. Mm-hmm. Fill in all the classes. You're good. That's all you need to do. Mm-hmm. Then make storylines with these characters. Very, very simple.
Yeah.
Have multiple.
You pretty much only bring 2 with you during the suicide mission.
Right.
Like, why do you need all these other people?
Have multiple loyalty missions. Have multiple acquisitions and all these other integral complex ways of getting people. Mm-hmm. Like, Tali, we found Tali. What a coincidence. I want her. And you have a big argument why.
It's almost like have implement like the approval system from Dragon Age, where they approve of your decisions or how you deal with stuff, and that gets their loyalty. Like, you need to get to a certain level to get their loyalty, not just a singular mission. Do you get what I mean?
There should be stages.
In that system, whatever decision you do, I don't know, send a squad of Cerberus grunts to scout, maybe would make Tali lost loyalty to you because you are using the Cerberus soldiers.
Okay, well look at this on Freedom's Progress. Was it Vitor? If you send Vitor to Cerberus, Tali still joins you later up.
Tali shouldn't join with you if you send Victor to Cerberus. She would be heartbroken and be super angry.
Yeah, but nope, she joins you.
You should say, "Oh no, you did this. That I didn't like it, but I go with you."
There was so much repetition. Even Zaid felt like unnecessary, even though it would make sense to, like, Cerberus is going to pay money to get a guy, but it needed more. It needed more to it. So all these characters could have been cut in some way or the other, and they could have focused on Miranda a lot more. They could have focused on the Dr. Okier we never got. That would have been interesting. Like, we needed more scientists to figure out stuff, and we just got random people for some reason.
Yeah, they could have got the old squad.
I wouldn't even. I would say no. I would say get people for the plot. Get plot related story, because there was no plot. We were just running around because Elusiman said so. And you're like, that's not a plot. That's just some guy telling you go do stuff. Now go do this. Now go do that. It's like, what? Why?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Quest 4. And the great thing is you can also, in the case of like a Comrade Burner, you can kind of go, oh wow, fans really responded to that, let's bring them back. I'm Commander Shepard, I should be able to deal with that person or see them dealt with. And that's how I sort of had the idea to bring Nasana back in this one, because she wasn't the best person in ME1 to deal with, and in fact actually kind of gets one over on Shepard, if I recall, in ME1. So at this point we've come quite a way, and we're actually detailing out the different points, and we may simultaneously even have what we would call like a gray box level at this point, so very rough. This one, GR loyalty, so that's Garrus loyalty. So we've already acquired Garrus at this point, who was Archangel. And I think, one of the interesting things, if you actually look at his acquisition document, there is no mention of Archangel at that point. I don't remember at what point I went, what'd be great is if we could surprise and delight players a little bit and actually, have them think they're going to get this cool sort of renegade character named Archangel, and it turns out it's Garrus, and Garrus has had a lot happen in that time, and we can then sort of unpack all of that. That's what made these missions so much fun to do, and I think probably what made them so memorable for players as well. And then this whole mission just sort of reveals all this interesting stuff about them, and to me, I think that was one of the fun things about doing these missions. When we started writing the idea of the suicide mission, it's immediately apparent that obviously the characters would be critical to that, especially in a game where choice and consequence matter as much as they do. And at the end of the day, if I haven't written a character that people care about and don't want to save, well, that's on me. So really, as a writer, my goal is to make you care and make you want to save that character.
Well, you failed miserably. Don't worry.
Acquire them, make them loyal, keep them loyal. And then
keep them loyal. That's a
keep
great.
them loyal.
There is no. Once they're loyal, that's it.
I mean, whatever choice you do,
Miranda,
Jacob still
Miranda
receive
and,
the missile on his face.
Yeah, Mac, I'm going to have to wait and see, buddy. You're not a good writer.
What he said, keep them loyal. I mean, how are you gonna keep them loyal if you don't make the decisions you do lower their loyalty?
Even Tali, if you screw over her desire not to reveal her dad did something wrong, she's still with you. She's angry, but she's still with you. She goes along with the mission.
Yeah. She doesn't do something drastic that you can say, oh shit, my choices actually have an impact.
There are pretty much no choices in.
Imagine if you reveal that her father was doing the experiments with the gaff, and she gets angry. She gets so angry, she gets depressed, and she kills herself. The player would say, "Oh shit!"
Yeah, be a choice with a consequence. Yeah, but there's none of that. Outside of the Miranda and Jack argument and the Tali and Legion argument, there is no way that you can lose loyalty of people. And even then, even if you lose the loyalty of like one of them, if you just don't send them on any important missions or anything, they're most likely going to survive the suicide mission. So,
of course, in the end, you do the right thing. We knew that it had to be centered around the characters. It's a suicide mission. Their lives had to be at stake. And that we had all these sort of inputs that would tie into that. We wanted it to be more complex than that. So there were all these very, very distinct inputs. Some of them the loyalty missions, some of them around conflicts, some of them around whether you did, some of those missions right at the end. When it came to actually executing that sort of final story, it's also obviously super important that you still want to bring it to a conclusion that feels satisfying and feels like it fulfilled the promise of what you set out to do. Beyond the idea of, this was going to be a suicide mission, it was also, we knew it was a trilogy. So we, and specifically Casey had always wanted this to be that darker middle act, the Empire Strikes Back of our trilogy. And, what could be darker and almost more tumultuous than, an ending where you don't know the outcome, right? Like it could really change everything as far as your perspective is concerned on what's happening in the world and how you're going to proceed in the next act, right? And I think that's why, again, that the suicide mission fit so well within that concept. To me, what's interesting as I sort of went down this sort of nostalgic trip and tried to remember what did we do and how did we do it, there were times where I was surprised that I'd forgotten because it had been an amazing project to work on. We didn't know all the answers. We didn't know that this was going to work out. And honestly, even if you took all of those same people and said, do it again, I don't know if we would. Sometimes magic strikes, and if you could point to it and go, that's how we did it, then everyone would be doing it. That's part of the magic of it, is that it was a very quick project to work on. We didn't have a lot of time to sort of second guess ourselves. And honestly, to me, that's the magic of that experience, having worked on it, and hopefully that's part.
We were rushed.
BioWare has no idea what they're doing. Well, we can't remember what we did or how we did it. We just got it done. It worked. What?
Yeah.
We just
in a
mashed it up
in a very short space of time. Okay, you were rushed. Okay.
It's magic. It's magic, guys. It just worked out in the end. You're like, isn't that the bad story we heard about BioWare Magic, where everything just sort of gets rushed and crunched? And yet,
I do love the fact that when we didn't know how the story was gonna, how it was gonna end. Oh, that was ironic. You said that.
I think if I was in charge of the writers,
that's
I think I would know how we got from A to B and explain. We wrote, this is how we figured this problem out. This is how we got this to work. We talked to the director here. We talked to the game designer there. It's like, yeah, we gotta get everything out on the table really early, and we got everything organized, and we plan it out. Like, yeah. It's like, I don't remember. It was just kind of magical, and stuff happened, and I don't remember why, and how. Like, what?
Magic struck. Well, this isn't an iceberg in the Titanic. It doesn't just hit. Something. Tell us how it worked.
Like, he wouldn't be able to do a post-mortem, where they explain the process. There was no process. It's just, did this idea work? Yes. Do another one. Did that idea work? No. Do another. Like, just keep changing. Just keep getting ideas that could work. Yeah. Try. It worked. Good. Go to the next one. Because there's too many characters. There's too many things going on. They can't figure this stuff out.
Yeah. Yeah. I also really like the we always knew it was going to be a trilogy. So how does Mass Effect 2 play into Mass Effect 3? Well, it doesn't.
Yeah, right, okay, it doesn't. It seems like a DLC of Mass Effect 1, like Bears like to joke.
Yeah. It's like an expansion pack.
And this is the game everyone loves.
I love this idea I just love this idea that people go, oh yeah, it was planned as a trilogy. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. But they didn't write it as a trilogy. They completely there is nothing leading Mass Effect 1 into Mass Effect 2 to Mass Effect 3. It just doesn't flow as a story.
All right, well,
that's all.
I don't know what else we could talk about. This is kind of like exhausting. The last 3 minutes of this video are just blah. You didn't really go into much.
Him just going, bashing.
Yeah, it's just Matt going, oh, it was amazing and wonderful and all that. Yeah, how do you know? You can't remember. You can't remember what happened. How do you know it could have been terrible?
So anyway, luckily we just made it in time for 4:00, which was what I went on to do. And we'll probably get ready for the next Smudcast. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. That was fun. There are all sorts of interviews and stuff going on thegamer.com and IGN and GameSpot for Mass Effect. I don't know why this week was so busy with Mass Effect content, but it was. I actually just uploaded a video. I'm waiting for YouTube to approve it. So, happily check that out.
Yeah.
Thank you for...
Mass Effect.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you in another hour or so.
I got late in the party, but I hope I could add something to the episode.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
We have to wait for the next podcast now.
Hooray! All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.